I can look at pictures. I'm like, I don't think she wants.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of Honey Radio. This is our first live podcast, too. So you can catch us right now on radiofubar.com.
That's a conversation I want to have.
And as you can hear, everything's going on in the background, which is awesome. So who I've got here with me tonight is Monster Honey Danica.
Hi.
I have Revenge Honey Linny.
Hi.
I've got Hardcover Honey Jocelyn.
Hi.
And I've got a guest honey who you'll remember from last week's show, Ms. Lisa Fremont.
Hello.
Hello. And of course, our lovely producer for tonight is Matt from the Wicked Radio Network from Dead Men Cast, and we are very, very thankful that he's here to help us out tonight. Because
Yay, Matt.
this is
Yay. Woo.
fucked up and different. So what we're talking about tonight is something that kind of happened as a result of a little bit of a little Twitter fight that we had the other night about Dexter. So this is the second episode where we're going to be talking about horror TV, and I wanted to start off by talking about horror TV just a little bit. I want to know what you guys feel about horror on TV. Because there's quite a few horror TV shows. Matt is producer, honey, tonight. There's quite a few horror TV shows. There's Hannibal, of course. Walking Dead. Dexter. What else you guys help me out?
The Following.
The Following. That's brand new.
Honorary.
What was the other one?
American Horror Story.
Yeah, American Horror Story, obviously. So
Bates Motel.
yeah, Bates Motel. Another new one. Yeah, I want to know what you guys think about horror on TV. Is it better? I don't know if they get more freedom on TV. Like the stuff that we see on TV lately is more intense than the stuff I've seen in movies recently. I know when Rome came on, it blew my fucking mind with the violence and like levels of violence and levels of sex that were available pretty readily to whoever was flipping by.
I think that's so different though because Rome is on
it's on HBO.
It's on a pay channel, yeah. So it's different than what they can get away with on the networks.
I don't think it's much different.
I have to say that Hannibal has just consistently. I mean, that's blown my mind. What not only just in the level of storytelling and how consistently amazing it's been, but what they get away with on NBC. I mean, even in the previews, when I was a kid, that would have scared the shit out of me. And I am enamored with the gore scenes are gorgeous and so beautifully done, but I am just shocked that that it's on basic cable. So I'm loath to use the phrase golden age of horror television, but it's definitely a resurgence of horror TV that we haven't seen since, the 80s probably, when you had Monsters and
Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt, yeah. Tales from the Dark Side. All these great horror TV shows. It's different, and I love that. I love that NBC kind of, for being such a weenie network lately, kind of took that leap with Hannibal, because it definitely seems like something that should be on FX or AMC.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
Well, that's why they're
Go ahead.
doing it though, because they see that the darker stuff. I mean, even like the anti-hero stuff, like your Breaking Bad and stuff like that.
Right. I mean, even Breaking Bad,
money, so
even
it gets
Bad
awards.
Wasn't a horror.
I mean,
horror show. It had horror elements to it.
Right.
Like there were some fucked up kills on that show.
Definitely. And that's not pay cable. That was
No.
AMC, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
even look at The Walking Dead. I mean, the first time I ever saw a child killed on TV was The Walking Dead.
I really wish The Walking Dead had kept my interest longer.
I know. We won't get into that.
That's another episode.
That's another podcast.
It probably is. Okay. Anybody else want an opinion on horror TV?
I grew up with the Tales from the Crypt, but that was on HBO, which was mentioned previously. The stuff they show on Hannibal, I can't believe is on NBC. Like the episode with the angel wings, when they made the angel wings.
Oh, God.
I can't believe that was on TV.
My mother, like flips out about that show. She's like, I can't believe that's on regular TV. I'm like, whatever. It's gorgeous. I'm watching it. Make sure it records on the DVR. Shut up about it. Long running argument in the house.
I think that it is gorgeous, but I do think it's really interesting that now that that's okay to just be on TV for anybody to see.
What time does it air?
10, I think.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
there's a
that makes a
network, I
difference,
forget, in
too.
Iowa or something that won't even air it. I find it somewhere in the middle. And it may have, it wasn't Iowa. What's the Mormon state?
Utah.
Utah won't. Utah won't air it. I think that somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Utah that decided that they weren't going to air it at all. Because there was a big to-do. NBC was not happy about that, losing an entire market.
I'm surprised they can even do that.
Oh no, Jocelyn, you're going to be breaking up the whole time, aren't you?
Actually.
Wait, am I the only one losing her?
No, you're not. Jocelyn, you are breaking up
Not the
something
show.
fierce.
I can hear you guys fine.
Oh good, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, we're going to have to power through it. Okay, so anybody else before we move on? No? Okay. So we're going to move on to the reason that we're here tonight, which is dun 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 Dexter. So I think everybody except Linny and I have watched everything, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have.
Okay. So what I want to ask everybody individually first is what drew you to the show? Why did you decide to start watching? Okay, I'll go first because it was against my will that I started watching it. My husband was watching it and was just like, "You have to see this! Oh my god!" And would drag me over and pin me down so I would watch it. Because otherwise, I wouldn't have watched it otherwise. But I have a big love of blood spatter technology and all that kind of stuff. So,
How far into it are you?
As a motherfucker.
thank you, Matt.
That was Stokes.
Yeah.
Stokes has joined us, everybody.
So I am midway or most of the way through season 7.
Okay.
We just couldn't watch enough of it. I just kept getting too drunk and passing out.
Well, my story is pretty much the same. James started watching it first, and then I started watching it, and once I started watching it, I couldn't stop. Also, there had been a lot of promotion about it beforehand, like at Comic-Con. A lot of really good marketing, and so that's how I got into it.
This is Jocelyn. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I started watching it mainly because I liked Michael C. Hall's work on 6 Feet Under, and so I kind of followed the people from that show on to whatever their next project was, whether it was good, like Dexter, or horrible, like Dirty Sexy Money. So
First season of that show was decent.
I know, you're right. You're absolutely right. And then, but I love him. I still love him. But so for me, like, I just thought it would have sort of a similar vibe to 6 Feet Under, which I did love.
Cool. All right. Lisa?
Yes, ma'am. I started watching it because I had read the book, actually, because I'm a nerd and I read books before the shows come out. And the book's fabulous. Has anybody else read any of the novels?
I have it, but I haven't read it because I started watching the show first, and then it was just like, forget it. Because I knew that they splintered off from each other, I think, so.
Well, and I think a lot of shows do that because True Blood's that and Game of Thrones does that. And I understand that that they probably should, but they really shouldn't have with Dexter.
That's what I've heard.
It's unfortunate the things that they chose, especially Doak's storyline. I wish that you guys knew what happened with Doak's in the books. It's 1,000 times better than what they did with him on the show.
Yeah.
But that's how I started watching it, and I thought that the first season was really great. I thought it pretty much followed the book. I thought that Michael C. Hall was perfect, and the man who played his brother was perfect. And Deb was a bit annoying.
Thank you.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Everything was, you know, it looked perfect. I loved his kill rooms and the way the bodies were so clean when you saw the ice truck killer, you know, his body parts that he would leave as little gifts, and everything was so lovely. And then the second, you know, season compared to the book, bleh. And then I kept watching because I have to watch everything.
Mm-hmm.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
All right. That was Danica and Lisa, and now Linny.
Yeah, honestly, I started watching it. This is so stupid. One of my best friends from high school is a clone of Michael C. Hall. Like, I mean, just uncannily so. They could be twins. And I was always hearing people say, oh my God, he looks just like Dexter. You have to watch this show. And it was irritating the shit out of me. And I finally got sick of people saying it. Because I had watched 6 Feet Under, but I just couldn't fathom that my douchey high school friend was anything like him on this show. So I watched the first season, and I did love it, and I have no legitimate reason for why I never went back and watched the second season. And then I was visiting Kat in Vancouver and watched most of the third season with her. And before that, though, I had seen the finale.
I don't think that's the recommended approach.
It's the same way I've watched Fringe. There's no rhyme or reason to my viewing. I'm not an OCD person that has to see every episode in order. It's not intentional, and I started hearing so many negative things about every season after the third one that I just couldn't bring myself to watch anymore. So I'm very interested to hear the arguments for why I should continue watching it from Danica.
Okay.
I've heard Jocelyn's arguments for why I shouldn't. So
Yes, and we will hear them again.
I can't wait. I'm excited.
Okay, so moving on from that, I want to know who everybody's favorite character was. Just one, and I don't really want to know why. I just want to know who.
Can it be not Deb?
Well, I think that's everybody's answer. So my favorite character is Masuka.
Oh yes, that's a good call. I'm going to say Trinity.
Ooh.
Yeah, Trinity.
And just in terms of the energy that he brought to the show, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, it's John Lithgow. I mean,
Right. But see, normally I don't like him. That's what surprised me about.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, he doesn't. I don't.
The Hendersons.
Oh,
See,
my.
and I don't see Harry and the Hendersons when I see him. I see Third Rock from the Sun.
What do you see?
Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh yeah, which I never was into. I just don't like him necessarily. I mean, I don't hate him, but he doesn't do anything for me, so I wasn't super excited to know that he was going to be the main, character that season. And then he really it was fascinating. So he kept my interest, and I thought it was a really a good foil. So
Yeah.
certainly
I
more
agree,
so
for
than
sure.
in some of the other seasons.
All right. Anybody else?
Deb.
Yep. Aneurysm.
Really?
My favorite.
I think we had this conversation though, didn't we?
I don't think so.
Wait, who just said that? Who loves Deb?
That was Danica.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so not even sorry for that. I'm sorry.
You never should be sorry for anything, girl. Never.
Well, I'm not. So I'm just gonna.
I'll make you a crown. I'm not sorry for loving Deb.
Thank you. I'd like that.
It's like a horror honey motto. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. That's interesting. I can't wait for you to explain why.
Yeah, I'm gonna say old balls. Kat knows what I'm talking about.
Fuck.
Old balls.
Old balls.
I am a fan. Okay, I will explain that. I am a huge fan of the Carradine family.
Yeah.
So when I saw Keith in his episodes, I was enamored. But then Deb started doing them, and I was like, ew. Old
Every
balls.
single time he came on screen, we were like, old balls.
Yeah, that became a running gag. Just
So to
old
speak.
balls. So.
Fuck.
But again, I don't have a ton to compare it to. I did love I loved his brother in the first season.
Yeah, he was good too.
I think that first season for me was so amazing. After that, I couldn't bring myself to watch anymore.
That's a good choice.
Okay.
Like, I was just so blown away by it. I was like, oh, it can never get any better.
Oh, fuck. Okay, so
And
everyone's given a favorite character. Everyone's given a favorite character, so mine's Masuka. We've got Deb as a favorite character. Trinity, obviously. Ice Truck Killer. Dude. Whose name I don't know. Whatever
Christian
the brother's
Camarero. Yeah.
Is that it? Okay. Okay. Any other?
Ew.
I have this like little thing I keep thinking I should do because there isn't one. I really want to make a parody Twitter account for shit Masuka says.
That would be amazing. You'd have to like figure out a way to do his laugh. I don't even know how you would type that out. That's my favorite. I just tweeted the other day that I need a friend that laughs like that. It just makes you laugh. You have to smile and laugh at it.
He was great.
Oh, fuck. Oh, we have a weigh-in from the chat room from Evil Episodes, and we've talked back and forth on Twitter a few times, so hello, thank you for being here. He liked Trinity Killer, for sure. And also said season 4 was the best season. We'll see we'll get there. We'll talk about that. Okay, so moving on, since we're already kind of there, I want to know what everyone's best parts of the seasons were. Trinity, for me, was a huge deal. I thought he was amazing.
Yeah.
I really loved the story arc. I love that it took up so many episodes. I loved his kill method. I thought that was really, really beautiful. And I was also really super happy to see Rita dead. So, yeah.
Yeah, couldn't stand her.
Oh, I know!
Yeah,
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I was saying this earlier tonight to my husband. Like, Rita, they really gave her... I mean, shit, I didn't like her either. She was a shrew and a half. But it's not... I mean, they really gave her the Skylar White treatment in that they just backed her... the writers backed her into this corner where there was no other option. And so... I mean, that episode was obviously, like, the best episode for me. Clearly, the end of season 4. But, the very first season... He was this sociopath, and Rita, he didn't even really love her. It was like a cover, and then by season 4, they just really didn't know what to do with her, and he loved her, and oh god, he couldn't live without. It got really pathetic. They changed her character so much.
Yeah, I know. I was totally not a fan. And wheelbarrow full of dicks that just came on into chat. Yes, they killed Jimmy Smits. Yes, they did. And yes, it was glorious.
Yeah, he was annoying.
It was glorious.
He killed the West Wing. He killed Dexter. Is there anything Jimmy Smits doesn't murder when he comes on the show?
But I also really like the whole Ice Truck Killer thing. I really wish they'd done more with him. But I do like that he kind of came back in season 6/7.
Yeah, that was fun.
As like a little angel of weirdness on the side. Okay, that's me. Chat. Nobody likes Jimmy Smits.
Blue. I don't hate him. I don't remember him ever being in anything else. So.
LA Law.
One show about cocaine or something that
Kingpin, maybe something.
It was something like that. It
had
something to do with being the head of a crime family.
Right,
I don't remember.
Oh, I watched that. It was about rum or something.
You know what? He was in Star Wars too, and he kind of fucked that up for me. He was in Star Wars, and he fucked up Star Wars for me. As fucked up as the Star Wars ones were, the early episodes. He wasn't Bail Organa. Fuck off. Like, I can't.
Jimmy Smits was on Son of Anarchy?
I know we're like IMDb bullshit now.
That's crazy. Shut up.
Okay, we have to remember that because we're live and people are chatting, we're going to need to say something in chat and then respond to it.
Oh, right.
Just so it keeps everything straight, so it's not just like shouting random shit for no reason or random topics.
Well, if somebody calls me a racist, I get mad.
Okay, somebody else. Favorite parts of the seasons, and it can be any season. I don't care which one.
I really liked the Ray Stevenson.
Oh, yes.
I thought he was a great sort of villain, and then the twist that he was gay.
I love him so much.
Yeah. We've talked about that.
Oh, yeah, we did have that little back and forth kind of hip grindy discussion.
He is a hot little number there.
Jesus.
He's a silver fox.
Which season is he on? Because I think I need to watch
Seven.
that.
Right?
He's in 7.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so now I think that I need to see because, yeah, it was
He's very charismatic.
And he's Titus Pulo, and I can't not love Titus Pulo.
I guess I need to see Rome. Is that from Rome?
Oh, yeah, it is. You totally
Okay.
need to see Rome. Oh, my God.
I need to see that. Okay.
Oh, my God.
So, I guess maybe I'm just saying these because they're what I watched most recently. I also actually liked the addition of Dr. Vogel as sort of like a motherly figure to Dexter.
You know what? I just watched those episodes, like, today, and it's weird.
I liked it.
Yeah.
And I really like her. I liked how intense she was at first when she calls Dexter down to the morgue, and it's obvious that she knows more than she's saying. I really liked her. I think she's a great actress.
Awesome. All right. Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I love the Trinity season. Season 4 was the best. I think he was the only one that could actually compete on an intellectual level with Dexter. And it was the first time I think Dexter was kind of emotionally entangled with anything. And then after that, everything just kind of went insane. And I wanted to like Charlotte Rampling's character, Dr. Vogel, but it was really too much for me to handle that she just, she was like collecting this Brady Bunch family of serial killers. When she was spooning out casserole to everybody around the dinner table, that was too much.
Right.
I really had a problem with that. I just felt like Trinity was the only one that matched Dexter
Toe to toe,
because everyone else was, I don't even remember who it was in the second season. The only thing I remember about the second season is I hated that woman. Was she his main? Oh,
yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Or what did our friend Chris call her on Twitter? It was like British titty vampire.
Yeah.
Nice. That's pretty nice.
Great. That was great.
No, but nobody else really was, good enough, I guess, for Dexter. And then when they tried to tell me that he had a heart and a brain like the Tin Man, I couldn't take it.
Yeah.
That I didn't make any sense right there.
That's okay.
I only like Trinity, apparently.
Made complete sense.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, moving on. Who else? Ms. Jocelyn?
I mean, Trinity, obviously, we're all going to say Trinity because that was clearly the best season.
Mm-hmm.
The Ice Truck Killer season 1 was great. I will say that although I didn't like where it ended up, I did sort of enjoy the Dexter falls in love with Lumen and helps her get revenge on the group of guys. I mean, I really...
That was cute.
But I don't mind Julia Stiles. I know some people don't like her, but I liked I liked the idea of the Barrel Girls. I like...
That was really cool.
Is it Sean Hatoshi was the roadkill guy and he killed the Barrel Girls or whatever? I thought that started off promisingly.
Yeah, that was a really cute little arc.
And that's the problem is once in a while it would be good again, and I was like, hey, and then no.
Yeah, I actually really liked the Doomsday Killer stuff too, like the angel in the fucking greenhouse. My God,
yeah,
that was fucking beautiful.
That could have been amazing.
So that was a great episode, but the rest of that storyline.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's all we have good to say about 6.
That's it. That was like a shiny penny in a giant pile of shit, was that one thing.
I am in complete agreement on that one.
Thank you.
Well, I enjoyed when they were riding down the street on the horses.
Yes,
that was really cool.
What else is that's our takeaway from season 6 is the people stitched together on the horses and the angel wings lady in the greenhouse. And those aren't stories, those are visuals.
Yes.
That's not...
Yeah.
I like Edward James Olmos.
I just want to point out that as an outsider who hasn't seen any of these episodes, this is an incredibly humorous conversation. People riding horses and animals and greenhouses. It sounds like you're all stoned off your ass.
Oh, fuck. That would make for an entertaining podcast. Oh, God.
You don't know what's in my tea bag.
And immediately
every night.
Mushroom tea for Danica. Oh, fuck. Okay. So, is that everybody? Did everybody have
I think so.
Okay. Because Linny's opinions don't count because she's only seen season 1.
And part of 4.
And part of sub, yeah.
And the finale.
And the finale.
Okay, so something I wanted to talk about, just because we are women in horror, it is Women in Horror Month. I do want to get opinions about women and Dexter. So how women are portrayed in Dexter. I know. And
an opinion on this.
And how we feel about that. I know. And it makes it even more difficult because the line of work that they all do is all yay. Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks is now posting sex photos in chat. That's great.
Cool.
More specifically, Julia Stiles sex photos.
Well, yeah, I can see it.
You don't want to. No, it's not bad.
Probably do.
It's not bad. So it's even more difficult to talk about women in this show just because of the line of work that they do, because they're cops. I personally really get pissed off when female cops are shown to be all tough and masculine and rah, just because they're cops. You know, like Deb, she's just like a tomboy, man. You know, she's one of the boys, right? Always drinking beer and shoulder punching and shit. Like, give me a fucking break. I'm just tired. I'm tired of that trope, personally. But yeah. So there were lots of women in Dexter that are worth talking about. And someone gets to start.
I thought, just cutting to the very end of the series, who wants to talk about Detective Angie Miller, the girl that appeared in the last season, as if she had been there all along? She's like bossing people like crime scenes. I just wanted so badly for someone to turn to her and say, like, I'm sorry, when did you get here?
I'm sorry, who the fuck are you? She was awesome.
Yes.
She was awesome. God. And I really love seeing strong black women on TV kicking ass.
I won't argue with you there, but what annoyed me was the presumption that nobody would notice that she hadn't been there seasons 1 through 7.
Well,
there was
there's
no explanation whatsoever.
There was that, too.
Well, no, didn't they promote her to lieutenant instead of...
yes, but I'm saying, but she appeared one day on a crime scene, and it was like, oh, Detective Angie Miller. There was nothing like, you just transferred here from such and such, or you just came up through the ranks. It was just
why does there have to be?
Here she is. Yeah. Because everybody was talking to her like we should all know who she was.
I don't think us as an audience needs that introduction, personally. I don't think
it felt like Cousin Oliver to me, so it doesn't, I don't know. It was like one of those shows where the kids get older and then they just add a new kid, like, yeah, we can stretch this out. Come on, Growing Pains, let's do it.
I see what you're saying. I guess I didn't question too much where a character came from, because I had committed, is it 8 years? 8 years to a show.
8 years, yeah.
Jesus Christ. 8 years to a show where I'm just accepting the fact that, you know, he's a serial killer and he gets married and he has a kid, and then his sister finds out and she's cool with it. Not really, but then she helps, and then he has a psychiatrist mentor, and all these things that Dexter does we're supposed to accept. So I'll go ahead and take random lieutenant that comes out of nowhere.
That's fair.
But I understand what you were saying. I didn't understand where she came from. I just assumed that maybe I hadn't been paying attention, that I didn't care enough to rewind and find out.
You don't have to list a favorite. I'm just kind of looking for discussion about how women are portrayed in general.
Right.
On the show. So
I was one of...
We already talked...
Huh?
about Rita and how they made her into a shrew.
Yeah,
that was one of my major problems with the whole series, is that the women were so broadly drawn, as if they were being written by guys that had never met a woman in their life. It was like, okay, we're going to have this wife, and she's going to be obnoxious, and she's going to be on his ass all the time about being honest and being home with the kids and being a good husband, and she's not going to trust him, and they're going to see marriage counselors. And then we're going to have his sister, who's going to be this cool chick, and she's going to drink and smoke and swear and be a badass. And it was just...
Okay, hold on a second. Do we not all drink? Some of us smoke and are extreme badass tomboys. Does that not explain a lot of us listening?
But the way that she was written, I don't feel like we're that cut and dry. I felt like her character was so one-dimensional.
I completely disagree with that. You haven't seen enough.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I saw the final episode, and I was like, I don't know.
I know.
But that's not part of that is because the head writer for the show, who was a woman, by the way, and I thought did a very good job for most of the time she was on running the writer's room, she left at the end of season 4. And I think that anybody that's watched the whole series, and feels the way that I do, would point to the end of season 4 as a notable dividing line in the quality of the show. And that's because the guy that ran the show and the head writer both left at the end of season 4.
Right.
And then they just kept renewing it, because why wouldn't you if it's making money? And so it's like, okay, guys, we're going to throw some new people at this and see what they come up with. And all of a sudden Deb wants to fuck Dexter. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah,
that made me highly uncomfortable.
Incest, I don't know. It's a pressure point for me. Like, I never find
That's not incest.
But it's not, because they're adopted, so it's okay.
Adopted. They were raised like brother and sister.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
And that was made explicitly a major plot point from the get-go, that they were brother and sister, and they had this brother and sister relationship, and they were so close. And listen, if you're talking about your dad to someone else and you refer to them, your parents, and you refer to them as dad and mom, you're related.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
But they had no other way to explain why Deb would find a way to be cool with finding Dexter standing over the Trinity. That wasn't the Trinity. Excuse me, the Doomsday Killers. Poor Tom Hanks' son. And I just felt like that was how they did it. Oh, yeah, wait, she loves him.
Yeah, that's bad writing.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can't find your way, if you've backed yourself into a story corner, and the only way to explain it is that she wants to have sex with, she loved Dexter romantically, when there's been absolutely no hint of that for seasons 1 through 5. Well, that's just lazy, is what that is.
Yeah.
It's a machine that dropped out of the sky, and I just, to someone that's been watching the whole time, who's never seen to support this, it just totally came out of left field for me.
I think it came out of left field on purpose. I don't know. Oh, fuck. On purpose, yes, because they wrote it that way, but fuck. I had a thought, and then it totally just flew right out of my ass. I'm just gonna leave that there. The whole Deb in love with Dexter thing was super fucked. Yeah, thank you.
Take notes.
Yeah, if that could play every time I fuck up, that would be great. Because it's not a surprise. Okay, so I want to know everybody's opinion about LaGuerta. She pissed me right the fuck off.
Uh-oh, I think we lost Jocelyn.
Oh, that's alright. We'll get her back. Do you want to re-add her there, Lenny?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, LaGuerta. Initially, I was all for LaGuerta. I was like, yeah, she's a badass, but she's still feminine, but she's strong. Look how people listen to her. And then she turned to this weird, underhanded dipshit. And I don't know what was up with that.
I dropped out for a second. What did you want everybody's opinion on?
LaGuerta.
Oh, God. I will say that My husband was very excited when LaGuerta was out of the picture because she was so annoying. But again, much like Rita, not a problem with the actress, more just running out of things to do with her.
Yeah, she kind of went a little batshit, too.
Yeah.
Love the shit out of her on Oz. She was a friggin' badass on Oz, man.
That's what I've heard.
Like, the things that woman put up with, I was excited to see her on the show, and I was never that impressed with her as I was with her on Oz.
Well, and she was just dumb as shit on Dexter, too. It would be like, here's 10 pounds of evidence pointing to this. It's like, no, I've worked with the guy for years. You're nuts. And then, there was this, when she starts kind of tipping to Dexter, and then no one really wants to listen to her. It was like,
wow.
I just...
Yeah, no, I agree.
LaGuerta, if I may cut in, this is where the books were better than the show.
I've heard that.
She was on to Dexter. She died quickly, early on. She was not around for all this amount of time for 8 freaking years. Oh, excuse me, 7 years.
Yeah, Matt just cut in and said she died in the first book and should have been the same in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with whoever just said that. She... I love that there was a really strong, intelligent, Latina actress, but then she just, like every other female, devolved into a naggy bee.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I was really happy when she died, which I felt bad about.
Me too.
Because I loved her, because she didn't take anybody's crap. But then I got to the point where you kind of resented her for it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why men can get away with that and women can't.
Well, because then you're being a bitch.
Nobody likes her.
No.
I have to be the person that does this. How did she die? Like, who killed her?
Deb.
Why?
It was shoot Dexter or shoot her. And she chose to shoot LaGuerta instead of Dexter because she loves him.
That's bullshit.
I know, right?
I object.
Yeah, that really wasn't even in keeping either. I mean, I don't know. How did she die in the book?
I don't even remember. Perhaps the smart person who's talking knows. I just remember that she died. A lot of people died in the first and second books that should have died on the show, because then y'all wouldn't be talking about how you hate them right now.
That's true. That's very true. And that's part of the problem, is that they had a core of, like, let's say 8 people that you knew nothing was going to ever happen to, no matter how much they danced around it. And I think it would have been better if it was more like, I don't know, Prison. My husband just watched all of Prison Break in like 2 months. And Prison Break was a good show. What he said, what he loved about it is that you would get attached and then boom, a main character, gone.
Yeah.
Next week, somebody gone. And I think Dexter could have been a little bit less and doing.
Shit, Jocelyn, I wish you wouldn't keep cutting out.
And when I say first blood, I'm not talking about Masuka's adopted daughter.
Oh, God. I'm trying to look up.
What did you just say to me, Kat?
I said I'm really sad that you keep cutting out because you're saying good shit.
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I know she keeps going on a good rant, and then we lose her.
I'll move to somewhere else in the house. Maybe that'll make a difference. Probably not.
You never know.
I'm going to interrupt you, ladies.
Please do.
In the first book, LaGuerta is taken out by the ice truck.
That makes more sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, which also confirms what Matt commented in chat. Yes, you win. You win, Matt. You get to be producer.
You win a pony. Good job.
He gets to be producer honey for the night. That's good. It's a good trade-off. All right. Anything else that we want to say about the women in Dexter?
Yes, I believe it or not, this is Jocelyn again. I have something else I want to say about the women in Dexter.
Hooray!
One of the things that I really try to pay attention to in any show I watch is the credits, not necessarily the cast, but who's working behind the scenes, the writers and the producers and all of that. And if you pay attention to that stuff and you've watched enough 90s TV, you'll notice, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll notice that when the name Chip Johansson pops up in the credits of your favorite show, that's a sign that things are probably about to get kind of shitty, and women are going to start sleeping with whoever's handy. Because this is a guy that came, and he might be a perfectly nice guy. I know nothing about him. I'm sure he's lovely. But he worked on a lot of shows that I watched back in, like Melrose Place is a show that he was intimately involved in for years. So when I see his name in the episodes of, like, Homeland, I know it's going to be a shitty episode, and invariably it is. And the same is true for Dexter. I think there must be something about certain executives that they want to see certain things, whatever, sex scenes or, you know, hysterical women or whatever, and that's what seems to happen.
Is that his specialty? Flailing women?
I don't know. You know, I'd really have to go back and IMDb him and see what else he's worked on.
I can tell you. There he is, Chip Johansson.
But I think that when I see characters behaving in ways that I don't normally see them behaving, and it seems like they're maybe some grasping at straws storyline-wise, it tends to be more about the behind-the-scenes people, not, you know, I mean, it's not Deb's fault that all of a sudden she was in love with her brother. I mean, that's a writing choice, you know. And the other thing is, I like Jennifer Carpenter, and I did have episodes where I really did like Deb, and when I saw The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which I know we're going to talk about next weekend, I thought she was great in it, and I was, like, dazzled, and I'm like, what? Where the hell is this coming from? Which, again, made me realize it's really not her or LaGuerta, you know, the woman who played LaGuerta or whatever, that's the problem. It's the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah. So, other shows that he's ruined, Millennium, which was the offshoot of X-Files.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills 90210.
Right.
Explains a
that
lot.
That might be what I'm thinking of and not Melrose Place. But
Dark Angel, Empire, Surface, Moonlight, 24, and then Homeland.
Yeah.
Blur.
Moonlight was actually a decent show.
What is?
Moonlight? It was a vampire show.
Yeah, I liked that show.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I don't know which episodes he wrote. But it was not terrible, given it was a vampire show in the middle of the vampire craze.
Ugh, yeah.
We
totally forgot about mentioning those when we were talking about what horror TV there is. Oh, Matt asked a very good question. What do we think about the opening credits scene?
Amazing.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Better than some of the episodes.
It is. I absolutely agree. I really liked when Harrison was born and how it changed from whoa.
He did that as a setup. He did that as a setup to play this.
Oh yeah. Lovely. It is a really fantastic opening scene. I really, really do like it. My favorite is when Harrison was born and all that shit started going wrong.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
I thought that was the funniest thing ever.
You know what? I always, with the opening credits, I was always like, God, he's got a lot of spare time in the morning.
I know! Who the fuck does that in the morning?
Certainly not frying myself up ham and working out, you know? That guy classes every day like he's a dentist's dream.
You have to floss every day.
And why floss in the morning? Like, really?
Yeah, you only have to floss at night.
Exactly. Yeah, that opening credit scene is really incredible. I really like, as a true crime person and as someone that creates gross things with makeup, I really enjoy the connection between food and blood and stuff, and how it can all be connected that way. Oh, okay, we have an animated GIF in chat, which is Deb pretending to suck a dick, and Quinn being like, "Oh yeah, right."
Quinn, poor Quinn, manorexic.
Is that what it is? Because he is. Wow.
He looked like Skeletor.
He looks like he's got cancer, and I don't want to say
look at him.
It is. But I love that they kept him in the same size wardrobe as his previous size.
I don't know.
So he's got this
he
like
weighs less than I do, I think.
Big boy wardrobe and his teeny tiny.
So far, the only thing you guys have done to convince me to watch any of the rest of the seasons is to tell me Ray Stevenson is in one.
He's in a bunch of episodes.
One season and not bother with any others.
He's in a bunch of episodes.
Yeah, that's a good call.
But yeah, just watch that one. It's on Netflix. You'll be fine.
Awesome. Done. I know what I'm doing when I can't sleep tonight.
Oh, man. Okay, do we have anything else to say about women in Dexter? I think we pretty much covered what I really wanted to cover.
I think that they're all annoying, and by the time they died, I was really happy about it.
Yeah, that did kind of happen, didn't
what
it?
that says about the writers.
That doesn't say anything good about them, I think, right?
No, I hated every single one of them. They all turned into a woman that needed Dexter. Dexter, who doesn't have social skills. He just pretends to have social skills.
That's what I don't
Everybody needs
understand.
Dexter.
Why is he so fucking appealing?
It's ridiculous.
He's awful.
He's not awful, but those women
the thing
are
is,
silly.
he's so completely...
for needing a half a person.
I know.
Silly head.
I find him completely off-putting and awkward. I don't understand why he's this big, like, oh my god, everyone wants to do Dexter.
Funny thing, exact same case with my friend from high school that looks just like him. I found him off-putting and awkward, and women were all the fuck over him. Maybe it's a pseudo-ginger thing that I don't know. I just imagine what's going on below the belt, and I want no part of it.
The gingers are going extinct. This is a true fact. So perhaps just way, way, way back in the cave woman mind, people want to procreate with gingers just to keep it going.
Do you guys, let me just interrupt you here to ask, can I ask a question, Kat? And I don't know, you might have this on your list. Did anyone else find it, speaking of awkward and off-putting, like, great, workplace romance, fine, awesome. Did we not all find it a little weird that they married each other and then divorced and were still doing the show together? Like, didn't that enter your... that, to me, took away from my enjoyment of the show, because I would watch the scenes where they would be like, hey, sis, hey, bro, what's up, bro?
Yeah.
And, like, hug each other, and I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, having worked at an acting school, actors are crazy, crazy people. They are little empty shell people. So, I don't know, it honestly doesn't surprise me.
No,
but it's really off-putting.
I'm not saying it was surprising. I found it hard to separate, and maybe that's just a case of, too much, not that I watch TMZ, but, knowing too much about people's personal lives, but that was hard for me it was distracting. That's what I'm saying. To me.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after they got divorced, because it was like, man, I bet this was awkward.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I found it very distracting as well. I thought about it quite a bit.
I thought about it, but I don't think it took anything away.
I think the only time I really thought about it seriously and was like, ooh, this is really uncomfortable, is when they were doing the whole Deb is in love with him stuff. And she was like, but what if I want to be with you? I was just like, but you're getting divorced.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's not the real people, but yes.
No, I know.
It was just another factor that I think limited my love of the show later on. Also, I'm not a huge fan of dudes that get a little more famous and ditch their first wives, so that kind of made me not as excited about him. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know what problems they had. It's none of my business. I'm just saying, as a outsider, I always think that's kind of a douchebag move.
Oh, yeah. That was not on my list, by the way, so thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
I'm going to go back for a second to talk about females.
Yes, please.
I also hated Rita.
Yes.
But I also hate many, many females. I've known many females like her, so it is what it is. I love Deb. I love her progression from season 1 until the end. I just loved how she wore her heart on her sleeve, and she literally couldn't shut up. She couldn't keep it out from coming out of her mouth. She grew up, idolizing her cop dad. Of course she's going to be a fucking tomboy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought she was great. So... LaGuerta, I could give or take. She was just sort of there to me.
But that's pretty telling that we can only name 3 women, and 2 of them were shrews.
Well, no, I liked Lumen. I loved how strong she was. I love that she was able to walk away from everything.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it was like, oh, Dexter's finally going to be happy, and and then she would just walk the fuck away.
My favorite woman on the show was the later days Aster. Because she was just such a sullen, haughty teenage. I mean, I wanted her to roll her eyes even harder.
I know! Oh my god, little goth Aster was so cute.
So great. Yeah.
And then she changed again.
I totally watched a show about Aster, so let's bring that back.
It was weird that she was like, I remember I commented on this too while we were watching. It was like, there's little goth Aster, and then the next episode she was totally not goth anymore because people understood her.
It
was like,
they should have never had any kids. I mean, I know they needed them in the beginning, but it was just a distraction. I mean, the whole Harrison, the dumbest thing I've ever seen, I think, ever in my life on TV was the Harrison falls on the treadmill episode, which was like a midget in a Harrison wig. I mean, it couldn't have been shot better. It was just so fucking lame.
Is there a gift for that? Because I kind of want to see it.
I assure you, there must be. There
has to be. If nothing else, we'll just find you a gif of a little blonde kid falling on his face.
Yeah.
Just as good.
Harrison and his magical 24-hour-a-day nanny.
Oh, fuck, I know. Poor thing has no fucking life.
She's like, oh, you're not going to be home again. I can tell you right now, I got to sit her here right now. And she would take none too kindly to me just cruising on out for a few hours.
Yeah, so, bitch, I'll be back later. Bye.
Right. Can you get Harrison to school for the next 9 years? Thanks.
I'm kidding.
Make sure that every dress you wear to Nanny Harrison is as short as possible. And high heels. That's super practical. Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah, totally. So necessary. I mean, I know they're in Florida and, it's warm there, but...
Whatever.
Wow.
That poor girl. Same thing with her.
I've also just been informed that Jennifer Carpenter was his second wife.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Huh?
That's what I'm saying.
He ditched his first wife for Jennifer Carpenter.
That's what I mean. He left his first wife.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I was lost on that one, too. It's all good. Yeah. All right. Now we get into the big debate. Okay, so best seasons. Season 4, Season 1, obviously.
And if you really could do something nice, you could sleep on my floor.
Sorry.
What the fuck was that?
Sorry. I was going in the kitchen. That's my 7-year-old's negotiating to sleep on our floor. He's like, can I sleep with you guys? My husband's like, no, you can sleep on our floor. So that's what's happening here. It's a rockin' Saturday night.
Shit. Well, it won't be now.
Clip again. I was like, that's a weird clip from Dexter.
I know. I was like, where's that? What's that
I
from?
need to sleep on the floor. That's weird. That's not a sign of good marriage.
Yeah, it's not going to be a rockin' Saturday for you, my dear.
Whatever that does.
Oh, fuck. All right, I've been waiting this whole time for Danica and Jocelyn to fight about Season 8.
I mean, I've really said everything. I don't know. Well, go ahead, Danica. You're the defense can go first.
Well, I don't really know what exactly I'm defending. I don't know what the huge problems are with it. I've heard... I don't really know what I'm defending at this point.
Tell us why you liked it.
Because
I haven't seen it yet either, so.
Okay, well, I'm gonna guess. I heard Lisa mention something about Dexter, how, he wants to kill people, and now he's in love, but I think that was the whole point of the show. I mean, any good character arc needs that progression. And for Dexter, it was learning how to become human, and how painful that was, how painful that entire ride was. To see him struggle from being fake to, towards the end, he couldn't stop from becoming human. So I think that progression needed to happen. And I don't know. I don't know. I think they had to show that isolation at the end. And you don't know. I don't want to give away the ending.
Oh, no, you can. It's fine.
That's okay.
It's
you
fine.
mean the isolation when he was starring in the Brawny Paper Towel commercial? That isolation?
Yeah, that.
This is what I use when I clean up my messes.
Not that I'm saying he doesn't look good with a beard. He looks good with a beard. But I think my objection to season 8 is partly the fact that he was a superhero that seemingly could be any place at any time, no matter what. I mean, he certainly has a lot of free time from work. I know it's not reality, it's a show. I didn't love the Dr. Vogel stuff. I didn't love when he suddenly took on a protege, that Zach or whatever. I didn't love that Hannah McKay was back and flying around Miami with no wig, no hair color, no glasses, no nothing, supposedly being like highly, sought after, wanted woman, in the most eye-catching dresses of all time. I don't understand why there was so much happening. I don't understand why Deb, in a hospital bed, after all this time with Dexter, then is just like, yeah, you should go, Dexter. You deserve to be happy. Like, I mean, I know everyone in the show is at the service of Dexter, but that didn't feel authentic to me. I didn't love how he could just walk. I mean, admittedly, we saw him get away with lots of stuff that a normal human who's not the main character in a TV show couldn't do. But I would be surprised if even in the midst of a hurricane, you could pick up a body and walk out of a hospital with it. I really would. Just past people. I mean, it wasn't even like he went down a stairwell. It was like out the front door. I thought it was a big cheat with the hurricane. I thought it was ridiculous that Hannah McKay gets stuck with the most annoying child ever because she had one, month of banging Dexter. I'm not taking on some kid that I don't know, and that's ridiculous. And my main problem with the last episode is that it was clear to me that they wanted to have it both ways. Like, they knew that half the audience wanted to see him suffer, but they knew there was a segment of the audience that was rooting for him to get away, and they couldn't make up their minds, and so they tried to have it both ways. And I think that's just, like I said earlier, it's lazy, and it's inconclusive.
All right.
I agree with that. Totally agree with that. I think that he should have died. I don't think he should get away with that for as long as he did. But then people don't want him to die, so what?
I would have been okay if he had gotten away. I mean, that's fine. That would have been fine with me if he was living happily in Argentina or wherever it is he was going with Hannah and Harrison. I would have been fine with that because it would have been a decision. Or if he had died, that would have been a decision. But to put him off being a bearded lumberjack by himself, now I understood and I read a lot about it afterwards, and it was like, well, this is his hell, like being alone without Deb. Well, big fucking deal. He's, it just, and you don't sail your boat into a hurricane and then somehow, it was just so ridiculous.
Well, yeah, that was awesome. He totally drove into like the perfect storm, and then he was alive.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly.
I didn't understand that.
But I watched that finale with a bunch of people that had watched every episode religiously, and I have never seen so much wailing and moaning and rending of garments as I did during that finale. I mean, they were throwing things at the TV.
Yeah.
I have watched a lot of finales in real time, and I have seen a lot of bad season finales, and I have never seen a reaction like that before.
The other thing, too, that did not help Dexter, in my opinion, the show, the last season, is that Breaking Bad was ending at the same time and was doing such a beautiful job of it that Dexter just looked even dumber by comparison. Like, you could see, hey, look, it is possible to wrap things up in a satisfactory way. And guess what, Dexter? You're not doing it.
Yeah, didn't both of the final episodes air the same evening?
Same night, yeah.
It was a week apart, I think. But
I thought it was the same night.
You might be right, but one of them did it right. And I'm emotionally invested in both of those shows from the get-go. But with Breaking Bad, I found myself getting more and more engrossed, and there was nothing about it that was inauthentic. And Dexter, as it progressed, my eyes were rolling ever harder in my head every Sunday. And I was like, I can't believe I'm still watching this because it has retroactively ruined for me what was an amazing first season. Well, really 1 through 4, I would say I really liked. And season 1 I loved. I mean, I cried at the end of season 1. Sobbed. And then by season 8, I wanted to cry because it was just so poorly done.
So I think that if he had killed himself, that would have been cheap. That's the easy way out.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. At the same time, he couldn't escape to Argentina because he has to pay for what he's done. Basically, he's not safe with anybody close around him. Well, so I think he has to learn to live on his own, learn to be human, and who knows, maybe at some point down the line he would go to Argentina.
Well, that's the other thing is I felt like they were leaving it. It was almost like somebody at Showtime said, hold on, guys. Let's not do anything hasty. We might want to revisit this at some point with a movie or a spin-off or whatever. Like, can we just leave it where if we have to come back, we can? And that's what it felt like to me. Just a ploy.
So I haven't seen the last episode or the last season yet, so I'm like, I don't know.
I can't wait to hear what you think of it. You can be like a tiebreaker.
I don't know. I feel bad.
I felt the same way. Like, they did that just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Hedging their bets. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, he can't kill himself. Dexter wouldn't kill himself. That is just absurd. But then the idea that he's living in some sort of random purgatory as a lumberjack without Hannah and Harrison, whatever. I don't buy that either, because they tried to make him a person, and while I respect that theory that he became human, I can't buy it, because Breaking Bad is amazing because those characters change the whole time, but in a believable
That's exactly right.
fashion. Whereas
That's
Dexter,
exactly right.
Yeah, Dexter was a machine until we needed him not to be. And I did not know how to connect with him emotionally.
It even would have made more sense to me. I can even understand if they wanted to cut to the shocking last scene of him doing something else, not in Argentina and not dead. It would have made more sense to me if they had cut to him being a blood spatter guy in some other police department in Iowa. What the hell, lumberjack? Does he have some, unseen lumberjacking skills? Like,
because it's not easy to be a lumberjack. Just FYI for those of you playing the home game, being a lumberjack is really fucking difficult.
And playing professional baseball, like it just made no sense. It was not in keeping with any single thing we had been told about him for the last 8 years. And why not have him at the end? He's a chef. I mean, it just didn't. That was the stupidest way, I think.
He'd make a mean ham and eggs.
I'm saying?
He should have been working at Disneyland. I think that would have been wonderful.
I would work at Disneyland if I could disappear.
He could be letting me on to Space Mountain, because that would be hell for Dexter.
There you go.
Now I'm visualizing him playing on a Japanese baseball team. Can't get that visual out of my head.
I think all to him would have been having to spend the week with his kid and not have Jamie to help him. That seemed pretty.
Yeah.
So he liked to swoop in right in the last 2 minutes of the night. Good night, Harrison. You know how much I love you. Who are you?
Fuck. Oh my god. And that was something else that I thought was a little bit odd. Dexter must be making a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
Like he had a lot of freedom at work. He was barely there, and no one seemed to give a shit.
At one point, he had 2 properties that he owned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I thought that too.
Yeah. Like, wow. What else do I want to say? I think that's the end of my list. Does anyone have anything they would like to add about Dexter?
I think we covered it. I mean, that was a good discussion, ladies. Very respectful.
No one called anybody an ass.
We can all live together. People that hate season 8 like normal people, and then people that love season 8.
See, now I'm determined to love season 8 now, so that Danica and I can be like, fuck you guys.
Danica, I'm sorry.
All good.
Yeah.
I didn't hate season 8. I think that if if perhaps somewhere between 5 and 8 they had written it better, I would have been more sold on the idea that he became more human. If you just watch the last season by itself, it's kind of good. But if you've seen all the other ones, it's stupid. And I think oh, goodness gracious. The books. Okay, I gotta talk about it.
I'm going to read the first book, I think. I'm going to have to hang up. Ladies, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Good to talk to everybody.
Thank you for coming in, Jocelyn. We'll talk to you soon.
Good night.
Bye.
Right.
I do want to say that what I really appreciated about the show from start to finish is that they were really smart about tying up loose ends or plot holes. Like every time I would say out loud, what about this? Literally, like in the next scene or maybe in the next episode, they would tie it up. So I thought that was really good.
Awesome. Apparently Matt LeRoy has disappeared from chat. And oh no, there he is. Never mind. Okay, I was getting scared for a second there. Okay, then I guess we should wrap it up unless anybody has anything else they want to add.
Yeah.
Oh, James just popped into the room. Yeah.
James. Oh my god.
Do you want to say hello?
I'll take my baby. Hey.
Hey, don't play that yet. We're not ready to go yet.
I just want to say this. That's all I want to say. Because I couldn't log into chat. I was really burning my gears. All I'm going to say is this. As a fan of the show, supremely disappointed with Season 6. Made me sick to my stomach. But
Okay.
Season 7 felt a return. It was very similar to Season 5 in a way. And Season 8, people could say the lumberjack thing and all that. But, the way I look at it with his character is he became human. He didn't know how to stay human. And it was very hard for him to be around anyone. So, the lumberjack, whatever, but for him to be isolated somewhere completely in left field of where you think he would be, I think was appropriate. I think if he would have died, that would have been terribly wrong.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was competing with probably the most perfect show in existence, which is Breaking Bad, didn't help. But I don't think it should be compared to, because they are like apples and oranges.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for joining us, James.
Yeah.
So for everybody listening, that's James from Nightwalker Cinema. We like him a lot. He is the monster hubby. You have a title.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
I'm leaving.
Get the fuck out.
Out of my gears.
Love you.
Yes, love is great.
Oh, James. All right, my darlings. Well, let's say goodbye then. So you can find us and our podcasts on Radio Fubar on Monday nights. We play at 11 p.m. Central Time. You can also find our podcast stream on Stitcher and Podomatic. And we would like to thank the Wicked Radio Network for having us be a part of their amazing team. I want to say thank you to Matt from Dead Men Cast and Wicked Radio for helping us out, being our producer tonight. You can find Horror Honeys at thehorrorhoneys.com. You can find us on Twitter at Horror Honeys. Danica, do you want to tell them where they can find you?
Oh, Twitter at Danica the Freaka. That's DANICA the FREAKA.
Awesome. Lenny?
I am at Linny Loohoo, LINNIELOOWHO.
Awesome. And Ms. Lisa?
Oh, hello. I'm at Elsie Fremont, LCFREMONT.
Awesome. And Jocelyn, you can find her at JB Rivard, RIVARD. And does anybody want to do any shout-outs before we go?
Shout out to Jennifer Carpenter. Love you.
There we go. I'll be sure to tag her when we post this.
We love you, but not so
but not Dad. And my final shout out goes to our wonderful sponsors who make this podcast possible. That would be Bee Nectar Meadery at Bee Nectar on Twitter, and Scandal Brewing, which is also at Scandal Brewing on Twitter. We love you guys. Anybody want to say anything else before we go?
No, ma'am.
No. All right, let's all say goodbye, and then Matt can play the music. So, bye-bye.
I love to take my baby to a movie show, so I can try to smooch her while the lights are low. But you ain't gonna do a story of romance. There's only one way I